Before I start the video, I'd like to give a quick shout out to my 5th and 6th subscribers. You guys are the first subscribers I have without including my mom and my mom's 3 other accounts, which is kind of sad, but thank you for that. If I wasn't broke, I'd do a giveaway. Okay, on to the video. Today I'm really excited because I am trying to make the house from Lab Rats in Minecraft. I thought it ended up looking pretty good, so I'm really excited. Using dirt blocks, I built a 40 block wide and a 50 block long rectangle and just connected it all together. Also, I know no one cares, but I saw this guy with llamas, and so I had to free the llamas, so I did that before continuing. Sorry for the interruption, I just thought I should include it since that's what I did. I raised it by 14 blocks, so now there's a 15 block high rectangle of dirt and filled it in with grass. And because everyone knows that Davenport's house is on Billionaire Butte, I had to make a little mountain out of stone going around it. So on the left side, from what I just showed you, you don't need to kind of blow it up and make it all mountainy because that's just going to be a foresty thingy anyway. Then I made a 25 block long rectangle that extends all the way to the back of the property. This is kind of where it gets confusing. From now on in the video, when I refer to the back of the house, I'm talking about like the front of this picture. And the front of the house is actually towards the back of this picture, because this picture is actually the back of the house in the show. And this is a picture I just took from one of the episodes where they're standing in the front of their house, like where the door is and where you would walk in. Sorry for the poor quality, it's the only photo I could find. I probably overcomplicated it way too much, but just so you know, when I'm talking about the back of the house, I'm talking about this area. So I filled in this area with stone, and then I just put 1 block of quartz, 5 blocks of glass, and then filled in the rest with stripped dark wood. Or I think it's spruce wood. I don't know. You can really do whatever you want. I then built that out by 5 or 4. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. And then I kind of put a border around it so the edges looked cleaner. Now moving on to over here, I obviously built up the glass and then build out the glass by 4 more. Next thing I did was add this sandstone area, and it doesn't really matter what it is, but it's important to note that there's 2 blocks in between the glass and the sandstone, and then 2 blocks in between from left to right, the sandstone and the actual stone driveway. This is just to mimic the rocks, so I built it up by a little, and it doesn't look exactly right. Use whatever you want. I wasn't extremely happy with the way the rocks turned out, but I think it looks pretty good, so it all worked out. The next thing I did was use some stripped dark wood and then some stripped jungle wood, just because it was the perfect mix of brown and orange to kind of match the color from the picture, to fill in the gap between the glass and the sandstone. Then I added some more quartz because in the show there's a little border in between the rocks and the start of where the actual quartz part is. And then I added an overhang and extended it to the left so it covers the jungle wood. It ended up being a 9x7 rectangle to make the floor of the quartz level of the house. That's what it looks like from the inside, so you can see it hangs over. Now over here I added 4 grass blocks just because the other part of the house is a little further back, and then used some more stripped jungle wood and added a layer of jungle wood and then some glass panes and then 8 blocks of jungle wood, and then in the corner I added glass panes and jungle wood going around and then more jungle wood. So I ended up raising it by 8, then by 1, then by 1. Then I added that little block to kind of mimic the picture as best I could. Here I'm using quartz pillars. You don't need to worry about the left side of the quartz pillars filling in because that's the interior of the house, so I'll get to that when I do the interior. And then of course there's a slight overhang, so I added window panes and made the quartz pillars overhang. Now onto the right side of the house, or the left. It's the right when you're looking at it from the quote-unquote back. I just added a quartz wall. Looking on to the left side from this angle of the overhang, I just am using some gray terracotta, and it's a 9 wide rectangle going from the top of the quartz pillar, and I connected it to the wood. I extended it out by 1 so it's has a little more depth than the overhang, and then raised it by 1 because I assume I'm going to want to put a floor there before adding windows. I then connected it all the way to the wall and filled in glass panes on the quartz wall just so it's like a balcony. I filled the rest of the area in with gray terracotta and built up the wall extending all the way to the end. So you have a little walkout balcony area. I also filled in the rest of the house going to the border with jungle wood, and then used more gray terracotta, built out the balcony 1 more just so it has more depth, or I think it's 2 more, than the wood part of the house, and filled that in as well. So this is what the front of the house looks like, quote unquote, and after filling in the rest of the balcony with glass panes, I used some white concrete to fill in the terracotta part of the house, then the wood part of the house, and then the gap. This is what it looks like so far. I just added like a driveway. I don't know, it's not really shown in the show, but I thought it'd be better for Minecraft if it had at least something. Over here, there's usually like a forest shown, so I just added some grass and some trees there. This is what the back of the house looks like, and now to where their front door normally is, I'm just adding some stone for the driveway, and then I'm adding a little fence. They don't have a fence, they don't really show it from that angle in the show ever, so I just put some leaves there. Okay, that's it for the exterior of the house. I think it ended up looking pretty good. If you want to see me build the lab and the interior of the house, like this video. Let's get this video to 5 likes, and then I'll make a part 2 for the interior and a part 3 for the lab, so we can all live out our dreams, because you're lying if you say you never wished Mr. Davenport would adopt you and give you a bionic chip so you can live in his mansion. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I hope it helped you at least a little bit in building your Minecraft house.